What's going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Tuesday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So the Vikings Patriots have been connected. Vikes potentially moving up to 3. The Patriots potentially moving down to 11-23. They got a lot of work to do. The Vikings are looking for the future franchise quarterback, but I feel like a lot of Patriots fans are just a smidge delusional because of Tom freaking Brady, because of Belichick and the great run they had. Because remember, the Patriots were asked thank you for a long time. I mean, the Patriots in the 70s, the 80s, I mean, they almost moved to St. Louis before Kraft bought the team. I mean, besides that one-off Super Bowl run, I mean, the Patriots were like Siberia for the NFL for a long time. But then Tom Brady, Belichick, all that stuff, but now I feel like they're just conflating their values. So AV Swaps put this up. Who says no? Patriots trade number 3 and a 2025 third. It's important for 11-23 and Justin Jefferson. So they're basically valuing JJ like they would DJ Moore as part of that deal with the Bears and the Panthers. This is stupid. This is absolutely delusional. Again, all the national media and all the other fan bases think we Vikings fans are idiots. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Now, maybe this is one of those spots that's just designed to be delusional, but I wouldn't even trade JJ straight up for the number 3 pick, let alone including the Vikings 2 first. So, GTFO. Get out of here, man. Someone else getting out of here is Josh Dobbs, a passionate open market free agent, signing with the San Francisco 49ers. Josh Dobbs signed a 1-year deal, including $2.25 million fully guaranteed, with $750K in playing time incentive. So basically, the Vikings and the Niners swapped backup quarterbacks with Josh Dobbs and Sam Darnold. But Dobbs money it isn't enough to factor into the compensatory pick formula. But I like Josh Dobbs. I feel like he was put into a bad situation where he had to learn things on the fly. And, I mean, 5 quarters, the last 3 quarters against Atlanta and the first 2 against the Saints, that was the most fun of last season. Or it was certainly up there with, Kirk Cousins doing things against San Francisco and then the first Green Bay game. But, I mean, the passionate time was a lot of fun, but was it replicable? Probably not. I think that he can be a serviceable backup quarterback. I think that he could be a QB2 for a number of years. And now he goes to San Francisco, backing up Brock Purdy. So props to Dobbs in that spot. Also, some other Vikings moving around. Olusegun Udo, the pride of Alana University, going to the Saints, a 1-year deal. Now, I don't believe we've seen financials for that yet, but if it's more than $4 million, I mean, nah. But I liked Ole. He came in as a right tackle prospect. They switched him all the way over around to left tackle as well as inside of guard. Basically, he was not good at guard, the 1 year that they plopped him in there. But, is he a serviceable high-end backup offensive lineman? Yes. Is he valuable? Yes. I think that he certainly does have some utility. But, he got an opportunity last year after when the lineman got dinged up. He tore his quad week 2 against Philly, which I feel like low-key tearing your quad sounds absolutely horrible, right? So, guys, tear hamstrings all the time, but I mean, you can still move around with a severely pulled hamstring. I feel like the quad will you're done. Yeah, I mean, just that front muscle, I don't know, man. It just sounds absolutely terrible. Anyways, but yeah, wishing him best of luck with the Saints, except for they're stupid Saints or whatever. Also, Alexander Madison recently released by the Vikings, signed with the Raiders. Madison 25, 17 touchdowns, 5 blah, 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 but 0 rushing touchdowns last year. Now Madison basically completes the 3-way trade. So Josh Jacobs went from the Raiders to the Packers. Aaron Jones went from the Packers to the Vikings, and Madison went from the Vikings to the Raiders. We could have saved a bunch of time just on a trade. But, actually, no, we couldn't because Josh Jacobs wasn't in a contract. Anyways, but Madison, just didn't work out as RB1. And for a lot of years, Madison was a very solid backup to Dalvin Cook. But when he was the guy, it just didn't work out. Right? And I do think that Madison has some utility. I think that he is a very good, 3-down back. But is he great? Probably not. But I think that he's a guy that can definitely find spots on a roster where, I mean, Latavius Murray is still doing the damn thing, last year with the Bills, and he's bounced around the league. I think Madison could have a career arc like that where he's reliable. He's a solid pass protector. I mean, most of the time he's a good receiver too, but he had some really bad drops at the beginning of the season, and he can run between the tackles and also short yard situations. So, wishing Madison the best, and I think Madison and Zamir White could be a nice 1-2 combination in the Raiders' backfield, and go from there. Someone who is not in the Vikings' backfield this offseason. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. But in terms of the monies that the Vikings offer Kirk Cousins, Burt Breer, the Monday morning quarterback, had some insight. This is from the Pro Persuasion, quote, "The Vikings didn't want to offer much in way of guarantees past 2024, according to Burt. The overall money was really good, and after only nominal guarantees had been built into 2025 and previous offers, the Vikings offered to guarantee more cash. Still, the numbers allowed for Minnesota, given how offsets work, to bail out of the deal after a single year without much monetary damage." And that's what Kirk talks about, the structure. All right, so let's just say for schnitz and giggles, the Vikings had the exact same total money offer on the table, 4 years, $180 million, but they only guaranteed year 1 and part of year 2, whereas Atlanta guaranteed year 1, year 2, and $10 million in 2026. And that's the sticking point, because we had said, like, if the Vikings wanted to do a multi-year deal, they could have done a Russell Wilson type deal where they could cut Kirk Cousins and say that his guaranteed from the Vikings was $20 million, but say he on the open market he was able to get 40, so that would completely offset, and the new team would be on the hook for $40 million. But yeah, it is what it is. But didn't work out, and Kurt took the money and ran. That's what happens, man. So, but we'll never forget you, Kurt. Just like again, this still looks so weird. I mean, Kurt's wearing number 18 as opposed to, I don't know, paying $350 to Kyle Pitts charity to get number 8. It's ridiculous, man. But again, the joke we made yesterday, we know why Kirk took number 18, 180. Nailed it. Speaking of jerseys, so by the way, this is I don't like the look of this jersey. Anyways, because I mean, the Falcons jerseys, like in the Michael Vick days, when they first introduced the red and black pants, that was hot. That was legit. But this, nah. At least they got rid of the gradient. That was really stupid looking. Anyways, speaking of uniform, so earlier in the day yesterday, it was leaked that the Texans could have a uniform redesign, except, I don't know, the picture that leaked on the left definitely looked homemade. Definitely a guy with a lot of time on his hands. It's definitely not Derek Stingley. I don't know, man. I don't know. But it looked like a XFL adjacent type entry. But who knows? But apparently it is legit, because now the Texans have not been a paragon of stability. And when you have your team owner going on Reddit and leaking photos of the new uniforms, I did not have that on my bingo card. Like, I don't think that Ziggy Wolf would be on Reddit, like, leaking stuff. But apparently, Cal McNair is indeed just, like, leaking pictures of the new uniforms. So, a leaked pic. How about the real photo of Nico and Tank? Way more to come in April. So, apparently, these are the new Texans uniforms, which, I don't know, man. The Texans, since they came to the league, so the one on the right is basically what they've been since they came into the league in 2002. Yeah, they got the battle red, which looks pretty good, but I don't know, like, the left just looks too trying to be futuristic, trying to be cutting edge, you know? It really does look XFL-y, but I guess since the Texans don't really have, like, a long-storied uniform history, it's fine. I don't know, but what actually should happen, and I get on my soapbox about this, the Tennessee Titans need to give the city Houston back the Houston Oilers throwbacks, which I understand that the Oilers moved from Houston to Tennessee. I understand that for a couple years they were the Tennessee Oilers, like when they were playing at, they're like playing Memphis, and they're also playing at Vanderbilt Stadium too, and then they became the Titans. Sure, but no, like, no one in Tennessee cares about the Oilers' history. You know who cares about the Oilers' history? The city of Houston. As I get choked up, "Love You Blue" means something in that city. There's a reason why the University of Houston Cougars did a Oilers type throwback, and then the NFL sued them. But no, this is the equivalent of if the Ravens were able to wear Browns throwbacks. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. Just give the history back to the city. It's like when the New Orleans Pelicans, who were the Charlotte Hornets, gave the Hornets history back to the Charlotte Hornets. Bobcats then became the Hornets. Right? This needs to happen. This absolutely needs to happen because this is a trap. And it was so dirty when the Titans wore the Houston Oilers throwbacks when they played the Texans. Towards the end of last season. It's just insulting. Like older heads in Houston, like the old time fans, like they know that color scheme belongs in Houston, not in Nashville. This ain't no Nashville party. Also, speaking of I Want to Party, we should have had this on the top, but Andrew Callahan, beat writer in New England, the Patriots have not shown an appetite for trading the number 3 overall pick per Bertie Breer. On the Vikings trade up being relayed to J.J. McCarthy stock, assuming the Bears, Commanders, and Patriots stay put in the draft, quarterback 0 of the 3 have shown an appetite for trading one of those picks. McCarthy is not just worthy of being, at worst, the 4th quarterback off the board, but maybe someone worth moving up for. So the Vikings have reportedly have conversations with the commies and also the Patriots. But so I see the Bears, obviously, after trading Fields, they're not moving. But the commies of the Patriots have shown zero appetite for trading. So, see, this is why I love this time of year, because you could take that at face value and say you're a Patriots or commies fan that doesn't want to trade. It's like, it said zero appetite. Or if you're a commies or Patriots fan who wants the pick to be traded, or a Vikings fan who wants to trade up, you could be like, that's exactly what they'd say if they were interested in trading. I love this time of year. Again, I wish that there was a tracker of all of the leaks and the rumors and innuendo and BS that we can compare to at the end of the season. Like, I would do it, except I'm way too lazy. That's all. Someone who wasn't lazy, Anthony frickin' Edwards. That's right. So, absolutely posterizing dunk of the year, and it was just amazing last night, man. It was great. And what's so great is that Ant's dunk was so powerful that he hit his left hand with the ball on the way down, and you could see like he was looking at his hand like he had jammed something up. He hurt his hand because of how hard he dunked the ball. Absolute superstar. Well, not even superstar in the making. He's superstar right now. And yes, we talked about how Anthony Edwards does scale similarly to early career Michael Jordan. He's already better than Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan never had any big-time moments against the Utah Jazz, and especially not in Salt Lake City. That's all. That's all I got, man. But that's it. Beautiful Tuesday, Vikings news dump. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.